Welcome to Top News Channel. A special welcome to all subscribers. Thanks for supporting my channel. Remember to click on the notification bell to get notifications on the latest stories. I'm Evadne Brown Harrison with the Top News Roundup for Thursday, November 9. In local news, armed robbery in Salem, Runaway Bay. State of emergency declared for St. James. Search still on for missing British man in St. Elizabeth. In regional news, Trinidadian government says issue with exchange of TNT dollar in Jamaica not evidence of a currency crisis. And on the international scene, man crushed to death by robot in South Korea. Top News Roundup is brought to you by Evadne's Multimedia and Communication Services. Fast, reliable, affordable. Now the details. 2 gunmen have reportedly robbed a Western Union outlet in Salem, Runaway Bay, St. Anne yesterday, while briefly abducted a female employee. Reports reaching Top News desk is that at about 12:35 p.m., 2 men wearing masks entered the outlet with one brandishing a firearm. They then demanded money from a cashier. When the demand was not met, the accomplice reportedly smashed a glass shield at the counter with a hammer. He then forcibly took an undetermined sum of cash from the establishment. It was reported that during the incident, an armed confrontation developed between the gunmen and the licensed firearm holder. The female employee, who was reportedly used as a human shield by the men, was taken from the premises and was later released unharmed. Police investigators have since launched a manhunt for the 2 men. The amount stolen from the establishment has not yet been determined. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has declared a state of public emergency in St. James during a post-cabinet media briefing yesterday. This follows Monday's killing of 3 people, including 2 children in Salt Springs, St. James, and Tuesday's murder of a man in Mount Salem, St. James, just 48 hours after a curfew ended in the area. Over the last 3 weeks, at least 3 residents have been reportedly shot in Mount Salem, forcing the police to restrict movements in the community. Between the areas of Mount Salem and Salt Spring in St. James, a total of 7 people have been reportedly shot and killed. The killings in St. James have sparked national outrage and renewed calls for decisive action against crime and violence. The police and fire department in St. Elizabeth are still searching for a 60-year-old British man who went missing during a nature walk in Ballard's Valley, St. Elizabeth on Monday. Reports reaching Top News desk are that over 100 police officers, mainly from the training facility at Treasure Beach, along with residents and the Jamaica Defense Force, make up the search party. Reliable source says that up to yesterday, the search was active and included the Jamaica Fire Brigade that has been assisting with drones that is expected to cover a wider area. Top News Channel understands that the 60-year-old man arrived in the country last week. He reportedly lost his way while returning home from a nature walk. He contacted his family via cell phone, but his battery died. He has not been found or heard from since. Now for the top regional story. Finance Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Colm Imbert, yesterday says the reason for the Bank of Jamaica, BOJ, to temporarily suspend the exchange of Trinidad and Tobago dollars at its banking counter was to renew its arrangements with the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago. In a statement on social media platform X, previously known as Twitter, Mr. Imbert says, the amount traded in Trinidad and Tobago dollars in Jamaica equals only $4,000 per month. In his statement, Mr. Imbert, who took issue with a local paper that is said to have described that minor sum as evidence of a currency crisis. The BOJ on November 6 said the exchange of Trinidad and Tobago dollars at its banking counter is suspended until further advised. The BOJ, the country's central bank, did not specify the reason for the review. The temporary suspension continues until further notice. And now for news on the international scene. A South Korean man has been crushed to death by a robot that recognized him for a box. It was reported that the worker was inspecting the robot sensor at a warehouse for agricultural products in South Gyeongsang province. Top News Channel understands that the robot was lifting boxes of bell peppers when it misidentified the man. Reports are that the mechanical arm of the robot pushed the man's upper body onto a conveyor belt and crushed his face and chest. He later died in hospital. In a statement, an official from the Dongguzong Export Agricultural Complex, which owns the plant, called for a precise and safe system to be established. In March, a South Korean man in his 50s suffered serious injuries after he was strapped by a robot while working at a vehicle parts manufacturing plant. That brings us to the end of the newscast. Here's a recap of our main stories. Armed robbery in Salem, Runaway Bay. State of emergency declared for St. James. Search still on for missing British man in St. Elizabeth. Trinidadian government says issue with exchange of TNT dollar in Jamaica not evidence of a currency crisis, and man crushed to death by robot in South Korea. Top News Roundup was brought to you by Evadne's Multimedia and Communication Services. Fast, reliable, affordable. On behalf of the news team at Top News Channel, I'm Evadne Brown Harrison. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Top News Channel for news that's accurate, current, and credible.